Hello, 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 and welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Today's Weather Tonight. Here, as always, I'm your meteorologist for the evening. That's comedian slash meteorologist, Cloud Hudson. It's me. And I will be bringing you all of tonight's top weather stories. I've got a cozy blanket now. I've got a little snowy blanket for encouraging you to what? Encouraging you to what? I've got a snowy little blanket so that I stay encouraged to broadcast, even though I'm in a cold basement. Last night I had hot hands in my hand the whole time, and I still have a little heater, a little space heater under the desk right here. It's a very good space heater. I rescued it. It's a rescue. I'm not trying to brag, but I do save, at-risk space heaters from the garbage heap. And this one was saved from being relegated to the dump by me. Anyway, this is the snowy blanket is in honor of the lake effect snow that we are currently seeing in the Northeast. I'm excited to talk about it tonight. So, one thing I always forget to mention is that I am accepting donations. I am a charity case, and you can give me your money if you want to, but I will give you nothing in return except continuing to broadcast. I'm not going to hold my broadcasts up. I'm just saying. Times are hard out here in Asheville, especially for an amateur, semi-professional comedian / non-practicing meteorologist. I am actually a meteorologist. I did complete my degree finally after a few years, but I don't. I don't believe in. It's against my personal code of ethics to work for the government. So, also don't want to work for shipping companies or app developers. So, kind of leaves me in the middle of nowhere when it comes to jobs. So, I do rely upon the kindness of strangers. And if you are a kind stranger, you can Venmo me your kindness. That's it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, I don't know if I put it in the description. I don't think I did, but you can figure it out. Let's go ahead and get started with the broadcast, shall we? I'm going to start by going through the headlines. They talked about the this story talked about the fact that if the crater, the volcano crater in Iceland collapses, then the lava might change direction. We went over that yesterday, so that's old news. The United States is paralyzed, and it's not going to get any better. Scary sounding headline. But this is just the lake effect snow that is currently sweeping across the northeastern United States region. And this story goes on to explain what lake effect snow is. I think the cool thing is this video. You can see Erie, Pennsylvania here, and Edinburgh, Pennsylvania. Ooh, they've got a live meteorologist out there in Dunkirk, New York. That is a name that keeps coming up when I'm looking at the map. Dunkirk keeps getting dumped on. Let's see, what else? Let's go ahead and look at our volcanoes for today. Remember that this is a comprehensive comprehensive weather recap program. So what I mean by that is I consider all waveforms, all fluids that are in the continuous spectrum of the material world to be part of the weather. So I like to observe volcano eruptions and earthquakes, as well as magnetosphere activity and solar flares and even planetary movements as part of the weather. These are all it's all vibes. It's all vibes all the way up and down. So we start at the lowest level we can, down north near the center of the earth. Here's some updated imagery from Svartsengi, from the Iceland eruption there. Constant spattering. Canlone volcano had ash emissions today. Lewitobi is also visible with ash emissions, and Dukono. The summit of Mount Spur volcano, October 16th, 2024. Where's that? Where's Spur? Oh, Cook Inlet, Alaska. Since the Alaska Volcano Observatory elevated the volcano's alert level to yellow, the activity has remained stable. Kicks me off sometimes. Numerous small earthquakes continue to occur. Occasionally, steam can be seen rising from the fumaroles. No significant changes, though. Okay, just a cool picture of steam coming out of a snow-capped volcano mountain. Svartsengi in the Reykjanes Peninsula, the eruption continues at stable levels. Spattering continues to feed the lava flowing to the southeast towards Fagradalsfjall and simultaneously keeps growing the main cinder cone. No significant ground deformation was detected, meaning that magma arriving into the system is balanced by the magma being erupted. No news is good news, I guess. Canlone, as we said, in central Philippines, continues its explosive eruption. 500-meter crater, or ash plume rose 500 meters above the crater. There's a 4-kilometer exclusion zone, which means don't go within 4 kilometers of that erupting volcano. Manam in Papua New Guinea continues to explode. Ibu and Lewitobi as well. Samiru, Dukono, Spur, as we talked about. Yeah, all the usual players still continuing their explosive activity. So let's go now to take a look at our earthquakes. And you do see a little hint of what I'm going to get to in a second. In the corner there, you do see a little bit of our weather. All right, let's start. I never really start in the Western Asia area. Iran had 2 earthquakes today. We had a 5.6 at 10 kilometers depth and a 4.9 at 10 kilometers depth at 11:23 p.m. and 2:25 a.m. So first was the 4.9, and then the 5.6 came, let's see, almost 24 hours. No. UTC 402 and UTC 423. So right back to back. Back to back earthquakes here. In Iran. Not much out of the Philippines today, surprisingly. A 4.4 at 84 kilometers depth here on the mainland of Papua New Guinea. We also had a 4.4 out here near the Fiji Islands. Is that Fiji, the inner one? Yeah, Fiji region. That was at 608 kilometers depth. That's a very deep quake. The 4.4 here in Papua New Guinea is nowhere near that significant of a depth. 4.5 was really deep up here in the sea between the Kuril Islands and the the Siberian coast up here in Russia. That was at 338 kilometers depth. We had a series of twos and mid-range twos and ones over here in about the first 30 kilometers near Kauai. Near Pahala, Hawaii, near Volcanoes National Park, near Mauna Loa. That is next. Okay, so we didn't have too many except for this really deep one out here in Fiji. Not too many over here in Alaska either, only like a 3.9 out here on the Aleutian Island chain. A smattering in the US. Kind of a weirdly quiet day for earthquakes. 4.3 here in Peru. That's northern Chile. That is at 144 kilometers depth. So, like, not many earthquakes to speak of today. Quite quiet altogether. So let's go ahead and take a look at our atmosphere, because that's really fun. Let's make that bigger. Whoop, too big. Too big. Too much time on our hands. Okay. Sorry, I'm resizing live on air. That's not very professional of me, but I've never been known for my professionalism. Only in journalism is my professionalism well known. Okay, let's go to Radar Omega. So down here in the Gulf Coast, we've got finally some news other than this lake effect snow. There is currently a flash flood warning, radar indicated flash flood warning, and that's probably because the shape of the cloud is parallel to the movement of the cloud right here near Alexandria, Louisiana, where that just moved out of. When it moves in the direction where the shape is, that means it's getting the most rain contact in one spot as it possibly can. So moving across like a windshield wiper like this, that's a really short amount of time for rain to be falling in one place. But moving in line like a train, that's when you get the big flooding going on. So they've got some flooding concerns down there. We've got a special weather statement as we get closer to Lake Charles. This is all being fed by this little low pressure system right here, drawing some moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico and into the Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama region. Thankfully, it doesn't look like there's not really enough energy in the atmosphere to get like nocturnal tornadoes going. But it is some pretty severe weather, some pretty heavy rain coming to the area, some nasty looking storms. The biggest story is, okay, we got a special weather statement even near Cincinnati. Wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Interstates and locations listed there. Showers were located along a line from Sabina to Cincinnati, moving east at 55 miles per hour. There's also another special weather statement up here near Columbus, Ohio, for similar conditions. And those, let's see what the quality of winter weather there is. Okay, so these are still water showers, otherwise known as rain. See, that wasn't liking me loading 75 frames, so let's try only 30 frames. But still, 50 mile per hour wind gusts and some decent rains are nothing to sneeze at, even though they're not seeing like feet of snow like some areas like Dunkirk, New York are. Up here near Traverse City, they've gotten just dumped on. This Kalkaska, Michigan, some northwestern Michigan towns and the UP of Michigan are just getting all that lake effect snow really seriously. Lake effect snow is when the warm Great Lakes, they have thermal mass because they are large bodies of water. Think of them as like a battery storing heat in them well into the winter, staying warm by the weight of their own mass. Just cuddled up. All their molecules cuddle up inside themselves. Anyway, that's thermal mass. The Great Lakes have thermal mass and they retain heat well into the cold season. And being a warmer body of water that often gets polar air, dry Arctic polar air masses sweeping across it, this creates a rapid condensation, evaporation and condensation of water. Water goes from the lake to the sky because the air moving across the lake is so dry. But that air is also so cold that it condenses into clouds a lot faster. So you get these clouds that kind of seem to come out of nowhere when it's really the dry, cold air mass sucking up moisture from the lake and then wringing it back out once that air mass moves onto land. You can see like it's not really snowing onto the lake as much, but once like here between the UP of Michigan and the lower peninsula of Michigan, there's a little bit of a gap. That's because over the warmer lakes, the warm air mass, it makes the conditions such that the cloud isn't ready to rain or snow yet because how much moisture air parcel can hold is based upon its temperature and pressure. And assuming pressure is stable, then a warmer air mass can hold more water than a cold air mass. So what might be enough water to make a cloud in an area that's really cold would not be making a cloud in an area that's really warm. So as the air mass moves from the cold land to over the warm water, it not only soaks up water from the lake, but it also becomes not a cloud, and then it quickly condenses back into a cloud when it gets over the cold land again. So that's the lake effect snow. That's the Great Lakes lake effect. That's what's going on up here. And that's why this machine just never stops. Lake effect snow machine go. It's just churning out the snow like a real snow machine. Let's see what we've got on our special weather statement here in Pennsylvania. Heavy snow and moving northeast at 40 miles per hour, winds of up to 20 miles per hour. So that is very dangerous. Conditions can deteriorate rapidly in winter weather. Let's see. Do I have satellite? It's our upper level. Let's look at lower level water vapor because that is going to show a little better on here. Yeah, you can kind of see the amount of moisture increasing as the air moves across the lakes. You can really see it pretty well there. Let's look at... No, none of that. Let's see what the GFS has to say. This is our forecast. The GFS model is a forecast model. So that's what we're expecting. Ooh, the next few days we are expecting some storms to be sweeping through the entire mid-Atlantic. Let's see our snowfall. Wow, looking at some high snowfall totals up here. Getting up into the 23 inches area. Ooh, buddy. They're looking deep snow. Okay. Let's go look at pivotal weather, actually. I'm going to resize you. Do this to top. Oh, I moved this. I want to move this. Let's go to pivotal weather so that we can check the recap. What are the highlights of this weather? We can make clouds. Watch. Ooh, you were lost in the clouds for a second. Okay, let's look at observed snowfall. Fun, fun, fun. All of this area looks so fun. 24-hour snowfall, 48-hour snowfall, 72-hour snowfall. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. We're really getting up there. You can see this is like icing on a cake. Let's look at all precipitation in 24 hours. Yeah, we're getting some decent precip down here in Texas and Louisiana. Let's look at our observed temperatures for the day. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That looks decently cold. And you can see that the lakes here are still really warm. That means they have a lot of moisture and heat to still give the atmosphere. Even though this is very cold, these lakes are not frozen yet because of the thermal mass effect. But they're still a lot warmer than the surrounding area, so it will continue to do that lake effect thing. I haven't looked at satellite imagery in a while. Where's my RGB? I guess it's in this folder. CONUS East. I haven't looked at derived winds in a while. Yeah. Okay, so derived winds, if you haven't been with us before, this is a product of the GOES geostationary satellite that it analyzes the airflow movements at 3 different layers of the atmosphere. Red is the upper atmosphere. Cyan is the middle level from 400 to 700 millibars, and yellow is the low level wind, 700 millibars, and higher millibars, lower in elevation, closer to the ground. Because remember that the millibars decrease as you go up. You don't get barbs in every area because the way that this product is created is based upon seeing movement of air through observable clouds or air masses at different levels in the atmosphere. So it's not going to show you something where there's like very little, like here where there's clear sky, there's very little to analyze. So it's hard to differentiate what the winds are doing at each level. But you can see this way that there is, as you go up in the atmosphere, we go from barbs here to barbs here to barbs here, down here in the Gulf region. There's a lot of alignment in the area right above where all this precipitation is happening. So that means that the jet stream is really well aligned with the lower level winds. Not very great for like making a front, but pretty great for getting alignment vertically. Up here in the lake effect region, we are seeing kind of the exit of that jet stream streak. The red would be where our jet levels are. The cyan shows our surface level low, really giving us that counterclockwise motion. That's what you don't want to see, but if you are eager to see precipitation happening, you want to see good clockwise motion at the surface, because that means there's going to be convergence at the surface. Imagine sucking through a straw. You need to like create low pressure in a point to draw things into it. And then you want some divergence aloft. You want things to be flowing away aloft so that it makes more room for more low pressure below it. This is all contributing to the continued snowfall. That's what we're seeing. Let's see. Got a really interesting contrary motion here in the Caribbean. Right above Cuba, we've got like mid-level winds going really hard to the west and upper level winds going really hard to the right. So I'd be interested in seeing what kind of weird vorticity is being churned up down there. Let's see. Now I think maybe I can do RGB. This is our water vapor loop RGB. Yeah, there's something down here in Mexico that's doing weird. You can see the water vapor that is being generated from the, you can see it like halfway through Lake Michigan, the line of where, how much lake the air had to blow over to be able to be saturated with or filled with enough water vapor to register as a water vapor mass on this particular product. And I say product because that's what it's like some dumb capitalist thing where American meteorologists call everything a product. We're delivering products. I hate that. No, guys, it's pretty swirly maps. It's pretty colors on a map. It's not a product. Geez. We got deliverables and products. I hate that. Okay. I guess it's technically what the model produces. Maybe it's not all about consumption. Anyway, do you guys know that NOAA is part of the Department of Commerce? Just a little fun fact for you. Weather is considered part of commerce by the U.S. government. Okay. Not health and well-being, not safety. It's about money. Oh, it wants me to. It's got a different website now. Let's go ahead and go further up in the atmosphere. I'm going to go back to this look there. Let's take a look at our magnetosphere. This is beyond the upper levels of the atmosphere. This is the ionosphere and magnetosphere. That is where charged particles are more common than any other air particles. And so this starts to act more like a plasma or a electrically conductive fluid that can have charge distribution and also have its own magnetic field. This is the magnetic field of the Earth. This is the aura of the Earth, if you will. And I will, if you will. Can see the waves rippling. This is the sun side. This is the far side, day side, night side. And that's the up and down version. That's the side cut. Like this one is looking at the Earth from the side. So North Pole's at the top, South Pole's at the bottom. This is looking at it from the North Pole, looking down at the Earth, so that dawn is over here and dusk is over here. Then density, that is density of charged particles per cubic centimeter. You can see the higher densities are the darker and lower densities are the lighter. You've got a nice lensing effect of high density of particles around the magnetosphere of the Earth. That's like a nice solid shield, kind of, from, this is the shield, not kind of, this is the shield that keeps us protected from huge solar blasts. And it does get a little worn down and kind of collapse in on itself sometimes when there's big solar weather. And then this is the pressure measured in nanopascals as opposed to hectopascals that we measure pressure in the Earth's atmosphere. This is kind of on the gradient edge of between the atmosphere and space. Have you ever wondered what the line between Earth and space is? Where does the sky end and outer space begin? It's the magnetosphere. That area is the gradient. That gradient is the defining line between the two. And it's not as much of a line as it is a gradient. And you can see the gradients here of the pressure. It's not uniform. It doesn't only go out, and it fluctuates and changes daily of where there is pressure, where there are inversions and doubling backs, and so on and so forth. You can see the North Pole, South Pole axis in this image, where it's perpendicular to these two lobes that flank the Earth. That is the North and South Pole axis. Remember that Earth is tilted on its axis. We are approaching the winter solstice, so we're getting to the point where the North Pole is tilted the furthest away from the sun as possible. So this off-centeredness of this asymmetry is from that tilting away and towards the sun. The tilt doesn't change, but our orientation around the sun changes so that the tilt that is stationary is either pointed towards the sun or away from the sun. Speaking of the sun, let's go to our, but not before we do Schumann resonances. I was going to say solar weather, but let's check on our Schumann resonances. Schumann resonances. Oh, buddy, look at all that activity. Holy shit. That is a lot of energy being exchanged between the upper layers of the atmosphere and the lower layers, between the tippy top of the clouds and the surface of the Earth. This energy is exchanged in lightning, among other things, but mostly lightning. And these lightning strikes happen globally so much and so often that there is a frequency of strikes associated with it. And that frequency is what you're seeing here, horizontally. These are strikes that happen 20 per second. These are strikes that happen like 26 per second. This is like 7 per second. 7.8 per second is a resonant frequency with the size and shape of the Earth, meaning that this creates standing waves that the energy bounces around in on itself around the Earth, and creates interference patterns so that there are the appearance of standing waves of there would just happen to be lightning discharges this frequently per second all around the globe because of the shape of the Earth. I don't have time to get into explaining that, but basically this is a measure of how much information, how much energy is being exchanged from the upper atmosphere to the lower atmosphere by way of lightning. And this is very active right now in the past day. So interesting stuff. Let's see if that affected the amplitudes or the frequencies. The frequencies stayed moderately high, not super high. Our amplitudes. Oh, wow. Look, we got a big spike in mode 4 power, which is unusual. Usually the lower modes would, lower of the frequencies of the 4 standing waves octaves, usually the lower ones go up before the higher ones. But in this case, we had some real increases in high frequency energy exchange. That's pretty cool. Let's take a look at our solar weather now. On the 4th, we had from 34 to 42. So that's 6, 7, 8 coronal mass ejections today. Take a look at one of them. Nothing too exciting. Sleepy. Coronal holes. We still are missing SDO imagery, so we're just looking at the GOES satellite imagery. We finally got an M-class flare today. We got 2 of them. We had been missing some M-class flares for about a week, and now we are back, baby. We're so back. Well, we're not so back. Our baseline is still sitting solidly in C-class territory, but we might start to see it pick up a little bit more now. We don't have that many super active sunspots. I mean, we're 4 solar maximum. This is low. We've got some complex ones looking to come into the Earth-facing disk at 39, 17, and 16. 3912 is a complex one, and 3905 and 06 are about to go bye-bye. And those are our last beta gamma types other than 3912. Auroral activity looks like solid maybe for parts of very northern Canada, but not super good for everyone else. Let's look at now our planetary weather, aka astrology. Excuse me. I've been talking too much today, I think. Let me drink some of my box water. Okay, let's see. So, as we mentioned, we've got this T-square going on between Sun and Mercury, Saturn and Jupiter. That's characterized by this mutual reception retrograde opposition of Mercury and Jupiter. So our planet of growth, expansion, philosophy, abundance, like beauty, joy, love, equanimity, kind of explosive growth almost, extravagance, over the topness, Jupiter, opposing our Mercury, knowledge, knowing where things are, the note-taking rather than the philosophizing, the processing, the knowing where every little bit of every little detail goes, the really getting anal about stuff and the little details, Mercury. They're in each other's signs and they're retrograde, so they're not at their happiest, but they are talking to each other at least by way of Saturn and Pisces. We have the moon conjunct Pluto here. It just overtook Pluto in Aquarius, and this is our first moon conjunct Pluto in Aquarius for this current final transit into Pluto and Aquarius. I'm so glad Pluto is in Aquarius instead of Capricorn now. The moon was just over Venus in Capricorn. Venus in Capricorn, by the way, still making a sextile to Neptune in Pisces, which is making a sextile to retrograde Uranus in Taurus, which is, again, making a trine to that Venus in Capricorn. Let's see. That is... Oh, I'm finally going to have a short show. I always say that. I always say I'm going to have a short show, and then it's long as fuck. Let's do a little vibe check. This is the portion of the show that I like to call the vibe weather. This is when I don't just use astrology to predict and read the weather. I also use tarot cards and oracle cards because I think that you need to get a good read on the energetic landscape to get the vibes of what's going to happen. So, let's start off by getting some compassion in the room. Okay, that's nice. That's just a nice sound. It's just a nice thing that I just enjoy. It's a handmade paper box, so I like to do the little thingy every time. I like the little attention to detail. ASMR. Singing bowl. Okay. And yes, if you're wondering, I do have a Himalayan salt lamp on. I think it counteracts the bad vibes of the computer. Not that you have bad vibes, computer. Your vibes are great. You're doing a great job. Let's see. So the first deck I'm going to start with, I've been starting in reverse order from what I've done throughout the year lately, and I've been liking it. We're going to start with our affirmations deck, which I always set with a beautiful piece of selenite. I think selenite is like the fiber optic cables of crystals. And if you don't believe in crystals, well, rocks are real. I don't know what to tell you. Crystals are real things. They are truly objects that are real in this world. I don't know how you could not believe in them. And I think everything needs a little rock friend. Everything needs a little rock friend. It sounds a little bit Bob Rossi when I say that, but everything needs a little rock friend. Little pet rock. Just grounding, stabilizing. Makes you feel good to have a nice, comforting rock. You feel bad, hold a rock. Try to feel bad holding a rock. You might still want to throw it at someone, but at least you're holding a nice rock. Okay. Sound fucking crazy. Because I am. Let's see. What is the vibrational weather today? What's the vibes coming in from outside of the planetary universe that we just looked at? What's the weather from beyond the planets, from beyond even the third dimension? What's the weather in the fourth, fifth, sixth dimensions looking like? What weather trickles down to this sphere of life from there? I think I'm going to have to pick a card. Okay. My happiness is my greatest gift to others. That is a very happy card. It's got a little dandelion on it, dispersing its seeds, saying my happiness is my greatest gift to others. Selfishly seek joy because your joy is the greatest gift you can give to anyone. Unless you are in your joy, you have nothing to give away anyway. Very important advice for this lifetime. Very important thing to remember in the material world. Okay. Next is Labradorite. Labradite. Whatever. I always say Labradorite like it's a dog, but I think it's Labradite. I don't know. Got that nice little flash, that little mermaid scale looking color to it. It's got that flash, and so do the cards. I like the holographic cards. Okay. Tarot. What is the vibe weather that goes with my happiness is my greatest gift to others? Ooh, bunch wanted to jump out there. I'm not going to shuffle here. Ooh, buddy. Oh, so many wanted to talk here. But we're going to get the Page of Swords. Page of Swords, and it landed horizontal, but I'm going to take it upright. Page of Swords shows a page that has long hair and a sword looking backwards in front of a field of clouds. There is obviously a storm of brewing on the horizon. The Page of Swords comes to tell you something. This is the arrival of words, the arrival of communication, intellect, maybe that Mercury and Jupiter opposition. There might be something you need to deliver, some communication that needs to get across. And it's maybe something new that you haven't said before. Perhaps it's a new avenue of speech or a new avenue of self-expression, a new way to say that you're happy, expressing your happiness to others. It's going to be, I think, a good one. I also got some cards that jumped out with it down here, but I am going to take those for personal interpretation. Yeah, those are definitely personal interpretation cards. I need to do some reflection on this after the show because those cards that jumped out have a lot to tell me. But I think for the collective, what we are all experiencing is Page of Swords energy. Maybe a little headstrong, maybe just a little impulsive with your speech. Not the most thoughtful, but definitely initiatory. Okay. This is Ocean Jasper that goes with the liminal space deck. Postcards from the liminal space. Let's see. Postcards from the liminal space. Space. Okay, guys. What goes with the Page of Swords? And my happiness is my greatest gift to others. Magic is immediate. Magic is immediate. It's got a picture of a hand holding a magic wand. Let's see what the interpretation of that one is on this book. Magic is immediate. Magic will be detectable within moments of seeking it. Follow whenever found. The place it guides you to may divert your attention from something else that was not producing a magical result for you at this time. You cannot bottle magic or decide which form it will appear, but it is the most reliable force in the universe. Magic will be detectable within moments of seeking it. Follow it wherever you go. Even if it's not where you think it is, let go of your attachment to having a foreknowledge of what the magic's supposed to be and go for it. I say a lot of things that I should be listening to myself on this channel. I'm a channel. Thank you. I hope I'm a channel anyway. Speaking of channel, that is it for tonight's episode. Oh my gosh, I came in at under an hour. What a record-breaking short show. I love you guys so much. I'm going to see you tomorrow night. I love you all so very much. And thanks for tuning in. Stay warm, stay safe out there. All right, have a great evening. Bye.